Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido, and today it is the Mellow Rumbles going up against the Cinnabar Blazers, and we already know that the Rumbles have clinched that top spot heading into Victory Road, whereas the Blazers, they're currently sitting in 5th, and they need this victory to ensure they will get a top 5 spot in the postseason. But if they have a complete blowout today, it will not be good for them. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this matchup. Will it be the Fighting decks? Will it be the Fire decks? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And going first for the Cinnabar Blazers, it is going to be that Basking Sun deck up against the Mellow Rumbles Rocky Boulders deck, as it is the Salandit and the Larvesta in hand for the Cinnabar Blazers. The Rumbles have the Geodude and they've got the Mianfu as well, but they haven't actually put the Mianfu out yet, and they've got that Mianshao and Golem. Now the Rumbles are coming off their first ever series defeat, so we'll see how they can respond in this matchup today, but the Blazers can't do much with that X-Speed they just pulled, and the Rumbles have pulled the Graveler. They've got all the cards they need right now to absolutely obliterate this Basking Sun deck, and they're starting to go on the offensive already with the Geodude, and they have laid out that Mianfu onto the bench. But the Cinnabar Blazers need to try and get this Geodude off the field, because there's also that Brock in hand for the Mellow Rumbles, as Salandit is going to get its first Fire Energy, and they're going to use the Giovanni to get that additional 10 damage here, so they are going to get 30 damage onto the Geodude. But the Rumbles already having that Graveler in hand, and they've just pulled their own Giovanni as well. It only requires one more energy to go for this lunge out, and it will be able to take this Salandit off the board extremely fast, getting that first point for the Mellow Rumbles. And they were thinking of using that Giovanni just for that additional damage, but opting against it here. They're happy to go just with the lunge out. They've taken the Salandit off the board, and the Mellow Rumbles have taken the first point here in this best of 3 series. And like we said, the Rumbles have only lost one series all season, and it was in the previous round, so this is their opportunity to respond and show that they can handle a defeat, as now the Blazers putting that Larvesta into the active spot, but unfortunately it does require 2 energy, and this is not good because the Rumbles, who have just pulled the Onyx, they've got the Golem in hand, they've got the Brock will generate an extra energy to put on this Golem, who requires 4, so there's the 3rd, they're about to get the 4th, and they are about to take game 1 already with a massive double edge to take Larvesta off the board. The Blazers never even stood a chance here in game 1. And that is how you bounce back from your first defeat of the season. As we said, the Rumbles have locked up a spot in Victory Road. The Blazers are still trying to ensure it, and they have to take down the Rumbles, who this time are using their Battler's Spirit deck, going up against the Blazers' Blazing Volcano deck. They are going to place the Cubone in the active spot. They've got the Marowak in hand, and they put the Marchop on the bench. The Blazers have the Magma from the Mythical Island set, plus the Charmander going on the bench. The Magma is the active Pokemon, and they've got that Blaine in hand, who does work well with the Magma. But here we go in our game 2, and regardless of the outcome, that game 3 will still count towards the leaderboard, as now it's the Rumbles pulling an X-Speed, not much they can do, so they send it over to the Blazers, who pull their second Blaine, not to be confused with the Professor's Research. They do play the Pokeball to get another basic Pokemon, and this time they get the Genetic Apex variant of Magma here. The difference is that the active Magma from Mythical Island does have to discard its energy to go on the offensive. As it gets its first energy, they send it back over to the Rumbles, who get their own Pokeball. They can play this immediately, and that Marowak will be able to get online very quick. But first, it's the Marshadow being pulled, a fantastic revenge Pokemon sitting there on the bench, and this Marowak only requires 1 energy to do 40 damage to this Magma. It is going to halve its health. Now the Blazers have an opportunity to respond and try and take this Marowak straight off the board, but first they've pulled the Professor's Research, and if they use the Professor's Research, Magma won't be able to take off Marowak, so they're opting to go with the Blaine. They want to get this Marowak off straight away. They're going to be able to take the first point. This Fire Blast, 110 damage, and this is fantastic because Marshadow will not be able to go on the revenge. It requires 2 energy, and it's got none on it yet, and with those energy, it does an additional 60 damage if one of its teammates has just been eliminated. So they're going to go with the Marchop in the active spot. The Rumbles have pulled their second Marshadow though, so they can actually start setting them up here. But first, they are going to get an energy onto the Marchop, going with this Knuckle Punch, knowing that the Magma cannot take it out on the next turn. And the Blazers now pulling their second Charmander. They're yet to get the Charmeleons or the Charizards, but they're going to play this Professor's Research, get another 2 cards out of the deck. There's the Charmeleon, and there is the Charizard as well. And there we see that Charmeleon being put online. Now the Blazers can set up this Magma, but if they do, that March-Up could actually take it out on the next turn. However, they've got the potion, so this will keep the Magma around for an additional turn. A great play there to make sure they restore that health from the Cinnabar Blazers. This is still anyone's game, even though the Blazers have the only point taken. The Rumbles have just pulled their second Giovanni. If they'd used the first one, they would have enough strength to use that second one and take out the Magma, but too little too late. They are going to get another 20 damage onto this Magma with that Knuckle Punch, but thanks to the potion, it is still on the board. The second Charmeleon being pulled for the Cinnabar Blazers. But here it is, the Blazers going to use this second Blaine. No, they're not. They actually decide against it, but with this Fire Blast, they will be able to take the March-Up off the board. They can get their second point, but this Magma is an easy target for Marshadow to now come onto the board and exact that revenge. The Rumbles will be able to take an immediate point in return. The Rumble is also pulling their Cubone. We are in game 2. That game 1 was extremely quick, but here it is, the revenge from the Marshadow. They're not worrying about the Giovannis. They're going to wipe this Magma off the board, getting their first point of game 2. And if they take this, game 2, they will win the entire series. That is what they're trying to do. They've only dropped one all season. The Blazers want this momentum heading into Victory Road, and to ensure that they can actually get into Victory Road, they have not locked up a spot yet, but the Blazers putting that Magma in the active spot gets its first energy here as the Rumbles pull in their second Marowak. They're going to set that Cubone onto the bench. They can't evolve it until the following turn, but they're starting to go on the offensive with this Marshadow. It will be able to get 50 damage thanks to that Giovanni doing the additional 10. They're starting to set up that benched Marshadow. Now it's going to do 50, but this is fantastic for the Cinnabar Blazers. They did not play their second Blaine earlier on, and what this will allow them to do is they're going to get that additional 30 damage from this Magma Punch, and what that will do will make their damage 80, which is enough to take the Marshadow off the board, and the Cinnabar Blazers take game 2. We are going to a game 3. The Rumbles trying to hold on. They don't want to drop a second series in a row heading into Victory Road. The Blazers want to ensure they head into Victory Road and to clinch a berth with a top 5 spot. But here we go, game 3. The Rumbles flipping heads. They will be going first with that full combat deck against the Rapid 9/9 deck of the Cinnabar Blazers. Now the Rumbles have the Hitmonlee and the Sandshrew in hand. They've also got that Sandslash in their hand, which they can't use yet, but it's the Ponyta from the Cinnabar Blazers being put into the active spot. They've got the Rapidash there as well, plus the Arcanine in hand, and they've got the Growlithe and the Vulpix, but they're not going to play that right now, which is very intelligent, because that Hitmonlee cannot do damage to an active Pokemon. It can only target the benched Pokemon. The Rumbles have just pulled their Mankey from the Mythical Island, playing the Pokeball. They get the Hitmonchan as well. Now they've got the X speed, so they will be able to retreat that Hitmonlee very soon, but there's no point in doing that yet because they cannot generate an energy on turn 1. This allows the Blazers to pull their X speed. Now they need to think about whether or not they want to contend with this Hitmonlee doing damage to their benched Pokemon. Now they've set up the Ponyta with its first energy. It will be able to do 20 damage with this Flare, and they're not going to set up the bench yet. They don't want to allow Hitmonlee to go on the offensive, so the Rumbles, they're going to need to retreat that Hitmonlee. But first, they've pulled their second Pokeball. They're going to play that now, and they get another Hitmonchan. And the great thing about these Hitmonchans is they can go on the offensive with that jab doing 30 damage from only 1 energy, so they can halve the health of this Ponyta immediately. As the Sandslash is also now online, they play the X speed so they can retreat the Hitmonlee for 0 cost, bringing in the Hitmonchan, and with that quick jab, 30 damage, like we said, already halving the health of Ponyta. Now the Cinnabar Blazers now need to start setting up that bench, because if that Ponyta is eliminated and they have no bench, they will lose this game 3 immediately. However, they can now get that Rapidash online. It is a coin flip, it does 40 damage, but if they flip it heads, it does an additional 60. The Vulpix and the Growlithe are now online. But here it is, this Rising Lunge. It is a coin flip move. They're going for the heads and they get the tail, so it only does 40 damage, halving the health here of this Hitmonchan. And we can see that Blaine in hand for the Cinnabar Blazers as well. We saw it earlier with the Magmas. It also boosts the damage done by Ninetales and Rapidash, as that second Hitmonchan is now online for the Melo Rumbles, and they're going to play the retreat. So they're bringing this Hitmonchan back. They're going on the offensive with that full health Hitmonchan. They don't want to drop any points in this early game, getting 30 damage onto that Rapidash. But the Blazers have pulled the Ninetales. Now, it does require 2 energy for the Ninetales to get online, and it has to discard an energy every time it does this, as the Rising Lunge continues from this Rapidash, again with the coin flip and again with the tail, so they can only halve the health of the active Hitmonchan once again. This is fantastic for the Rumbles. They would have dropped 2 points already if they had both been heads. The second Hitmon lead just being pulled for the Melo Rumbles, as they're starting to set up that Sand Flash now, and it is the jab continuing to chip away at this health of Rapidash, who now has 10 health remaining. It's the second Ponyta being pulled for the Cinnabar Blazers, as they need to think about what they want to do. Do they want to save the Rapidash? Do they want to take out this Hitmonchan? They have options, and they're clearly thinking about how they want to best address this as they put that Mythical Island Ponyta onto the bench. They're going to retreat the Rapidash. They're going with the Ninetales. They're going for the elimination. It will do 90 damage. It can take out every Pokemon, even that Sand Slash, because they've got that Blaine in hand. But there it is, the Hitmonchan, the first point taken by the Cinnabar Blazers. And this Rapid 9-9 deck lives up to its name because it is very rapid, as the Sand Flash is now online. It just requires 1 more energy to do 70 damage to the Ninetales, which will be fantastic. It will put it in elimination range for the other Pokemon, but even though it does that 70 damage, the Rumbles don't know that that Blaine is in hand for the Blazers. They can play this. It is going to do an additional 30 damage unless they opt to go with the Professor's Research. They get another energy onto the Ninetales. They're playing the Blaine. 120 damage. It is going to wipe this Sand Slash off the board. And already in Game 3, the Cinnabar Blazers have 2 points. They just need 1 more to win the series. The Rumbles have not taken a point yet, but this Ninetales is an easy target. The Hitmonchan coming online. It will be able to go for that quick jab. It will be able to finish off the Ninetales, and they've just pulled the potion as well. This will keep this Hitmonchan away from being eliminated by the Rapidash, unless it can flip ahead, if that's the option that they choose to play. But that Rapidash is such an easy target right now as well. But here it is, the Hitmonchan getting its first energy back, going with the jab, taking this Ninetales off the board, and the Rumbles have taken a single point in this Game 3 as they're trying to work their way back to victory. And the Blazers are going to risk it. They're playing that Rapidash from the Mythical Island set. They've just pulled the Rapidash from the Genetic Apex set as well, who only requires 1 energy to do 40 damage. They're going to play that Professor's Research as well, thinking about how they want to finish off this turn. They've pulled their second Blaine. They pulled their second Vulpix. This is fantastic for the Blazers. They're not able to play the Blame. They've just played a supporter card already this turn. They need this coin flip. This could all end right now, and they flip the heads. The Cinnabar Blazers are about to take out the Hitmonchan, and the Cinnabar Blazers have defeated the Melo Rumbles, who have now lost 2 consecutive games. Heading into Victory Road, they will still ensure they have that top spot, but this is not the momentum they want to build, whereas the Blazers, this is fantastic for them because they know they can take down the top side. But at the moment, they will be facing the Pastoria Hydros with the way that the leaderboard is looking. But with that said, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought the best card was, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, send thanks, and I'll see you when you see me.